The Panda's Journey Part 2. Traveling Through China by Olga Kobylska. The adventure begins. Early in the morning, the panda woke up in high spirits and made the final preparations for her journey. She checked if she had everything she needed and stepped out the door. But suddenly, just before she reached the gate, a tiny fairy appeared out of nowhere. "Hello, I'm Maya the Travel Fairy," she introduced herself. "I'll be here to help you during difficult moments. If you ever need help, just clap your hands 3 times. "Hello," the panda said in surprise, staring at the fairy. "How did you know I was about to go on a journey?" "Oh, that's easy," smiled the fairy. "I can always feel the excitement right before a trip. It's a special feeling unlike any other. And today, for example, I sense that you still haven't decided on your route, right?" "Uh-huh," the panda nodded. "I was planning to walk to the train station and take the next available train." "Don't worry," the fairy reassured her. "Before setting off on a big journey, it's important to learn about local landmarks. I suggest we start by visiting the most famous historical sites in China. How does that sound?" "Great idea. Let's go." The panda closed the gate behind her and boldly took her first step into a grand world tour. She had decided to start her 80-day trip around the world by visiting the marvelous sights of her homeland. She arrived at the train station and bought a ticket. Her first stop would be China's most renowned creation, the gem of the ancient world, the Great Wall of China. The travel fairy explained that this enormous structure had been built back in the 3rd century BCE by order of Emperor Qin Shi Huang to defend the northern lands from nomadic tribes. "Wow, amazing!" The panda was astonished by how thick and tall the famous wall was. "I can't even see the end." There were many tourists there. Each one looked around in awe, captivated by the grandeur of ancient times. "Imagine, they say the Great Wall of China can be seen from space," the fairy Maya said, appearing suddenly. "Although I think that might be a bit of an exaggeration. Want me to give you a quick tour?" "Of course," said the panda. "You tell stories so well." Together, they slowly climbed the steep stairs to the top of the ancient wall and continued forward, not yet knowing that the full length of the Great Wall stretches over 21,000 kilometers. "What an adventure!" the panda exclaimed as she tiredly descended into a valley, where she and the fairy decided to rest and have some lunch. "Would you like to hear about another extraordinary landmark connected to Emperor Qin Shi Huang?" asked the travel fairy. "Definitely." The panda had just finished her bowl of rice and was ready to listen. In the mid-20th century, a Chinese farmer was plowing his field when his ox's leg slipped into a hole. He went over to check it out and saw something unusual. When archaeologists arrived, they began an excavation and made a huge discovery, the now famous terracotta army. "Wow, what kind of army is that?" the panda asked. "The terracotta army is a giant collection of life-sized clay warriors, chariots, and horses buried near the tomb of the famous emperor Qin Shi Huang. Imagine, there are more than 8,000 of them." "I want to see it. Let's go." The panda threw on her backpack and hurried off to the bus station. The fairy fluttered her wings and disappeared. "See you later." The terracotta army was truly awe-inspiring, so many clay artworks, the likes of which the panda had never seen before. This massive collection didn't just impress, it enchanted her with the craftsmanship of ancient artists. The panda listened closely to the tour guide and asked questions whenever she wanted to learn more about the construction of the emperor's tomb. It was so hot outside that after the long tour, the panda felt like taking a swim in a river. Without thinking long, she decided to visit China's most famous river, the Yellow River or Huanghe. Long ago, the river would flood vast areas, allowing Chinese farmers to grow rice. But now, as the panda approached Huanghe, she saw that the yellowish-brown water was polluted. So she didn't go swimming but instead made a promise to herself to one day figure out how to clean this historic river, which had once given life to ancient China. After visiting the most iconic landmarks of her homeland, the panda decided to continue her journey. She bought a plane ticket and chose India as her next destination, a country also rich in history and filled with spectacular places. "I hope the travel fairy shows up when I get to India and tells me what interesting places to visit," she said as she settled into her airplane seat and drifted off to sleep. The first day of the journey was coming to an end,